Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today, instead of a vlog, we thought we would do a Q&A because it has been a long time since we've done one. So we did that on our Instagram. We have lots of questions to answer and we're gonna be doing that right now.
I say we just jump right in.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, like we always do with our Q&As, we have not pre-planned or like gone over these questions beforehand. We're just gonna answer them off the cuff and hope for the best. You asked the first one.
Do you think sexual compatibility is crucial for a successful relationship?
I think so, absolutely. Because sex is such a big part of a relationship. So is communicating and, understanding, and there's so many different facets that go into a successful long-term relationship. So I definitely think being sexually compatible plays a huge part.
I don't necessarily agree.
Really?
For me, it does, but I would not say for every person because people don't, like sex to some people is not very important at all. So I don't think.
Well, then that means you hopefully end up with someone whose sex isn't important to also.
Right.
Like you're sexually compatible. So I think it does. I think he inadvertently agreed with me.
Okay. Okay, so are you guys just rich or do you have a 9 to 5? We are not just rich. We worked really hard to get to where we are in this current phase of our life. I got into real estate fairly early in like my younger years. I bought my first house when I was like 22, and then I bought another house when I was 24. The first house I bought was $10,000. It was condemned. Nobody wanted it. I needed lots of work. I didn't have money to pay someone to do it, so I did all the work myself. The second house I bought was $3,000, also condemned. Nobody wanted it. I had to do all of the work on that house as well because I couldn't afford to pay anyone. Some of those early decisions in my life of getting into real estate at a time when the market was down. I bought my first house in 2008, which the market had just crashed. So we both have put a lot of work and time into getting to where we are, to where we live a very comfortable life now, but we have put in tons of work to get here. So no, we were not rich, and we do work every day.
Absolutely. And I also don't think people really understand how like frugal we are, specifically you. Like PJ still is, getting almost everything off Facebook Marketplace, and like we don't really splurge on things unless it is like an investment property. But you're just very disciplined with your money, and that's really rubbed off on me in the time that we've been together. And so I think we're just very careful with what we choose to spend our money on.
This question also relates to the last question. What do you guys do for a living? And by the way, I love your family. So I'll let you answer that one.
Well, we do social media for a living. Some people call it content creation. Some people call it influencer work. Whenever people ask what we do, we just always say social media. So we work with brands and agencies, and we post about their products, but along with social media, which has become like our full-time job in the last couple of years. We also do house flipping. PJ has been flipping and renovating houses for years. We sold a house last year. No, we sold 2 houses last year, and he does most of the work himself. So they're usually pretty profitable. So that's what we do, social media and house flipping.
Here is a funny one. Tell us the most boring fact about each other.
The most boring fact about each other? What? I mean, like, I don't even know. The most boring fact about PJ is that he has to have at least 9 to 11 hours of sleep a night. If he doesn't, like if he gets like 8 hours, which is like a typical what you're supposed to get as an adult, he has to like take a nap during the day because he'll get too sleepy. I would say I guess that's a funny question.
The most boring fact about Thomas, is that
he's having a hard time because there's nothing really boring about me.
The most boring fact about Thomas is that... The most boring fact about Thomas is that he... I don't know. The most boring fact about Thomas is that he... The most boring fact about Thomas... I don't know. Okay, I can't think of something, so we'll come back to that. I suppose your kids are adopted. How long was the process? So that I do know. We did adopt our kids from start to finish. It was a little over 2 years. Part of the reason why it took so long was because it was during the pandemic. We took our foster care placement. Hello. Hey. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. We're filming a video. Yeah. A Q&A for YouTube.
All right, moving on.
Did we finish that question?
No.
I suppose your kids are adopted. How long was the process? So we started fostering our kids in 2019. Shortly after we did that, the pandemic happened, which slowed down the process of adopting our kids. And the total process from start to finish was a little over 2 years. This question relates to that question in a way, and it says, any plan on surrogacy?
No, not really. I think that there was a time and a place for that years ago when we had explored surrogacy as an option and as a route that we may take, but I don't think that there's, at least right now or in the near future, any plans for surrogacy. What do you think?
I would say there's possibility, but probably not.
There you go. Here's the next question. How do you guys stay organized? You guys seem to be able to do so much in a day. That is a good question. Because I think that if you were with us day to day, you'd be like, your house is so unorganized and you guys are unorganized. I honestly think we just do the best that we can and we take it one day at a time. We're always like trying to implement little ways to stay more organized. Like I've been eyeing a file holder for the kids' school papers that has like a 3-tiered thing on Amazon that I might get. That'll help us stay organized with the kids. But other than that, like our day to day is not very organized. Would you concur?
I agree. Okay, so the next question is, how do you handle finances and budgeting? Do you use any apps to stay on track? We, just like the other question, are not very organized. We don't use any apps. We make a lot of reminders, or Thomas makes there we go. The most boring thing about Thomas is that he makes a reminder. His phone goes off 50 times a day because he makes reminders about things like pick up the kids from school.
Yeah, this is me all day. I'm like, remind me, set an alarm for blah, blah, blah.
But as far as handling finances and budgeting, we don't have a good system for that. That's something we need to work on.
But it's something that is not really like a point of contention for us.
It's never, finances and budgeting has never been an issue because we are very kind of methodical with our money and we don't ever overspend on things. Mm-hmm. And that's something that's always been really important to me.
You taught me a lot about handling money and like being,
We are big on like having a set amount of money in our savings account and knowing what we're paying in our bills, but we don't have a good system. We are good with money. We don't have a good system. Or maybe we do have a good system and we're just not aware of it.
I think it's an okay system.
Okie dokie. Next question. Where will be your next trip?
We actually don't have any trips planned for the foreseeable future, which I actually honestly really like.
Mm-hmm. We love being home during the fall, and it's almost fall. So, what are you guys doing with Holiday House? Are you planning to move there permanently? This question was actually asked several times. I think for now the plan is we are gonna try out Holiday House. Yeah. It's about a 25-minute drive from where our kids go to school, and we plan on keeping them in the same school system. So it's really going to depend on how we like that commute. We love our house in town. A lot of people ask what we plan on doing with this house, which is the house that Thomas grew up in. We have no plans on selling this house. We love this house. This house feels like home to us. And it may be a thing where it's like we live at this house during the school year and we live at Holiday House in the summer. And then maybe Airbnb one or the other when we're in the other house.
I know I said to PJ the other night in the kitchen, I was like, will anywhere else ever feel like home like this house does? TBD.
Yeah, this is the same. Will you move to Holiday House and rent the place that you live in now? That's kind of what we're leaning into, is maybe a rental or an Airbnb or something like that.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah, you can do it.
Here's the next question. Since fall is coming, what has been both of your guys' favorite fall memories together? I would say, like, one that stands out in my head is we always get pumpkin pie blizzards from DQ whenever it's like fall. I think they start selling them in early September, but it's like it never feels officially like fall until we have a pumpkin pie blizzard from DQ. We got those very early on in our relationship, and they always remind me of fall. What about you?
For me, I was actually reminded of what it is recently. We were invited to Thomas's mom's house for dinner one night this past week, and she cooked us spaghetti and the kids came. And while I was there, it reminded me of like when we used to do that all the time at the house before she was in now. And I was telling the kids, I was like, guys, Situ, which is Lila, Thomas's mom, used to invite all of us over, and it would be like me and Thomas's brother and sister. And it was like fall was, when I think about that time, it was always usually in fall and winter, and it was like we would eat dinner and then we would all like sit down and watch a movie or a show, and it was just a cute, fun, cozy moment. Here's a good question. What motivates you guys to work hard?
I would probably say a big motivator for me is the kids, because I'm like, I want them to know that their dad worked hard and that they should work hard to get things that they want in life. But beyond that, I think that we just have an idea of the life we want together and for our family, and that is a big motivator.
Yeah. For me, it would be knowing the type of life. I feel like I've always known the type of life that I wanted, and I knew that I had to work hard to get there. So that would be mine. How is your finger? So my thumb, for those of you that don't know, I had an accident while we were at our beach shack, and my thumb got caught in a garage door. Almost took the tip of my thumb off. It shattered the bone and cut me really bad. And it is definitely much better, surprisingly way better than I thought it was going to be. I have lost some function in my thumb, but for the most part I can bend it, and it's still really tender and really sore, but overall much better than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to like lose all function, but I didn't. Is Josie going to be a house pet? She seems to love being in the home. For those of you that don't know who Josie is our pig who her father was a wild hog that showed up to our farm and bred with one of our domesticated miniature potbelly pigs. Her mom did not take her, and so I bottle fed her from day one, and she has been at our house for almost 8 weeks now. I was actually thinking about this last night and how I don't know if I can take her back to the farm because it would be super sad. I know she would love being outside, and she currently sleeps on our back porch, and super smart, but I don't know yet. I am not sure what's gonna happen with Josita.
She is a doll. I love her. Here's a funny one. Does Thomas get offended when my partner and I call him Baby Diane Keaton? Absolutely not. That's like a compliment. Please. Why am I just now hearing about this? I love the fact that you call me that. Okay. Maddie asked this question. She said, are you pumped for 1989 Taylor's version? so pumped. I literally woke PJ up the other morning while he was still sleeping with the phone in his face and being like, look what she just announced. She just announced that her next re-recording is 1989. Yeah, we are very, very excited for this album. Okay, here's the next question. Can you tell us more about your experiences being two dads? I love your family. That's sweet. I don't know. I don't think of it. It's funny because in our day-to-day life, we're just parenting. So I don't, it's not until I think read questions like that like label us as two dads that I really see us as two dads. I see us as just like parents to 3 kids. And so I don't know. In our house, it just feels so normal, kind of like breathing. And it's like nothing, everything just runs how we're used to it running. But I do sometimes notice I'm more aware of that, the fact that we are two dads when we go out into the real world. And we're at our kids' basketball games and I look around and I don't see any other two dad families, but I don't know, it doesn't bother me. How do you feel about it?
I will say that it's not what I expected. I expected it to be a little bit more challenging. I know that we're kind of in a bubble because we're in a town that's not too big and we know a lot of people, and I don't feel like how we are treated is how all gay couples are treated. It's just it's a different experience. It's not what I expected it to be like. I thought it would be harder, but overall it's been fairly easy dealing with other people. The biggest challenge I think is as far as becoming a dad is how we went about doing it, which was foster care, and we went from not having kids to having 3 kids in a day, and that was the biggest challenge I think. And then just navigating what type of parents we were going to be and what worked and what didn't work. And parenting and being a parent and being a dad is something that you're constantly learning on a day-to-day basis of, wow, I didn't handle that correctly, I need to do it differently next time, or wow, that really worked, I like that. And I mean, it constantly changes. Favorite LGBT show series? That's a great question because we just watched a movie today, or finished a movie today on Amazon Prime, and it was Red, White, Royal?
Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Okay. And it was so cute. And Heartstopper, and is that it?
Well, you know what? We really loved Sense8 whenever it came out. We were so sad that they got canceled, but I think that's it that we like.
Would you ever travel to New Zealand for a holiday? Have you both ever been to this side of the world? I would love to go there, and we have not been there before, but we both would love to travel there. That's definitely a bucket list for me. The biggest challenge for me is the flight to get there is so long. I don't know how I would make it. That would be the only thing that would keep me from doing it, is I just cannot imagine. Anything over 8 hours for me is miserable. 8 hours is miserable for me. So I don't know if I could zap and be there. How is your thumb? So I answered that one, but then a second part to this question is also, can you tell us the story of how you nearly lost your fingers? So I had an accident on this hand this summer, my thumb. When I was 13, I was obsessed with a movie called Fly Away Home with Anna Paquin, where she hatches out baby geese in a dresser that she had converted into an incubator. I decided I was gonna build one of those, and I got my pinky got caught, or my pinky hit the saw blade and it threw my hand through a table saw. And it cut my pinky off and cut these fingers in half, and the doctor put them back on. Luckily, for the most part, I have the majority of my function in that hand, but had to do rehab, and it was a very traumatic experience, which is why doing it to my other hand I was really upset about it and down for a week or so, just because I went through that and I was never will I ever have to go through another injury like that again, and I ended up going through another one. But that is the story of how I almost lost 4 fingers. If you could go on holiday anywhere in the world, what would it be and why? That's a good one. New Zealand is actually probably my top 5 places, which is funny because that was just asked, but
yeah.
New Zealand, places in Asia. we've done a few places in Europe, which was awesome.
I would love to go to like Switzerland or like Ireland.
Yeah. And then like Africa. There's so many places. I don't know. It'd be so hard to just do one, but
or like England, somewhere in the UK. I would love to visit the UK.
Yeah. How do you maintain a healthy sex life with kids? How do you do that?
You asked, you can answer.
I have always been, to me, like, sex life is important to me, and I feel like I'm constantly, like, finding ways to improve it. I would say, like, having kids is challenging, but also just, like, having a regular life is challenging, not necessarily just having kids. Luckily, like, when designing this house, we designed it so that the primary bedroom would be separate from the guest bedroom, so that helps. So we try to do that when designing spaces, that we have a private area to be. We have kind of always enforced that, like, the primary bedroom is our bedroom, and though the kids are welcome to come in our room, they know that they need to knock when they go to our room. We always tried to, like, get the kids comfortable in their beds so that they slept in their rooms. And anytime that they would ever wake up and come to our room, we would always, like, take them back upstairs and tuck them in and keep them, like, get them comfortable. And I just think it's important to have, like, a space of your own. Like, I know a lot of parents, like, let their kids sleep in their beds with them, and we just never really wanted to have that. I feel like, to me, it was important just to have, like, our bedroom be our bedroom, and it, like, this is our space. Like, though you're welcome, you need to knock. We don't ever, like, let the kids play in our room. I think just defining, like, a space for us that like we and the kids both knew that.
Yeah, that has helped a ton, setting those boundaries.
And then this question is age. I am 30.
It just says age.
I'm 37.
32. Loving our 30s so far. Okay, here is one that I think is a good one. It says, do you ever compare yourself to others in abilities, earning potential, appearance, etc.? Yes. I feel like it's almost impossible in this day and age to not. You know, with social media and Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and YouTube, it's like you're just always seeing other people's lives in front of you. And so it's like, it's very hard to not compare yourself. But usually whenever I start comparing myself, it's always just for a moment. And then I realize what I'm doing and I'm like, let me zoom out and put things into perspective. I feel very grateful for our life. And so I would just be doing a disservice to myself, to my kids, to my husband, if I compared, you know, if I thought too much about it. But yeah, I mean, of course, I compare all the time. Do you?
I try not to do that.
So no.
I try not to, but yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone does, but I really try not to do that. When you two broke up back then, did you stop communicating with each other during those months? So 4 years into dating, we broke up for 4 months, and there was a period during that 4-month period where we didn't talk at all. We would text and sometimes talk on the phone. Throughout that period, but towards, I guess in the middle of that 4-month period, there was maybe a month that we didn't talk.
I was thinking it was like a couple weeks. Was it a whole month?
I think it was like 3 weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks that we stopped talking. And so yeah, we did stop communicating for a little bit, but overall we still kind of text each other.
We have time for one last question. PJ, take it away.
Okay, so in the kitchen in the new farmhouse, is it a dream style kitchen design, state-of-the-art stove? Question mark. We are super excited about the kitchen at Holiday House. We are actually partnering with Unique Kitchens and Baths for our kitchen. They have an Instagram account. If you go and check them out, they make some gorgeous kitchen and bathrooms.
They do.
I sketched up like the design of the kitchen, and then we partnered with one of our internet friends, Lauren Leese, who's a designer. She had a show on HGTV. She has tons of like amazing books.
Yeah.
And she kind of took my sketches and put them all together, and we have come up with this gorgeous kitchen, and we're so excited about it. So yeah, we can't wait to see that come to fruition. But
Yeah, I would say it's a dream kitchen.
definitely a dream kitchen.
Big ol' island, feature stove wall, lots of storage. We're so excited. And the biggest thing that we're most excited about is that it feels complete and looks completely different than our kitchen here in town.
Yeah.
And so we're ready for like something new and something fun and different, and that's what this kitchen will bring.
Well, we were not able to answer all of the questions, so maybe we'll do another Q&A in the future. But thank you guys so much for submitting if you did. Sorry if we didn't get to your question in this one, but we will do a new one soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. You know where to find us. Until next time.
Bye, guys.